Redline oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO Radio on location at Brainerd International Raceway. I'm Joe Castello and we're here in the iconic timing tower. You'll decide later in the show as I give you a little bit of a tour of BIR, a couple of cool aspects of this amazing facility. The world of drag racing is focused on Brainerd, the penultimate race in the NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series. There's a lot going on as we get ready for the Cornwell Tools U.S. Nationals. And we have got a great show for you. Shawn Reed and Jordan Vandergriff are going to be joining us seconds from now. Shawn, I don't know if he surprised the world. I kind of feel like he did. The NHRA on Fox guys might be a little bummed out that they're losing their reporter, but we're going to hear from those guys momentarily. So share the show. If you're out there on the socials, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on X in particular, a repost is so good for the live numbers of WFO Radio. You can see stacking going on. Look, we got action back there. Stacking going on. Yeah, a little bit of backlight, but you'll deal with it for this amazing view, right? There's nothing to see here. There's a lot to see out there. Super excited. Also on the show, Mac Savage from Team Kalitta, Kalitta Motorsports. Mac representing Doug and Alan Johnson. On this show, we're going to get to know Mac. It's going to be exciting. But first, let's bring on our guest of honor. I'm just so happy to see this guy. I haven't talked to him since, the incident, and he joins us now, Mr. Shawn Reed. Shawn, welcome to WFO Radio. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Joe. Thanks for having me up again.
I'm excited. Obviously, I don't want you to break down the incident. I'm not going to go frame by frame with you. I know you've done some other interviews, but just give us your state of being at this moment. You've been so, man, if anything bad ever happens to me, I'm going to channel you. You've handled this so well, like a champ, like a pro, like something that I think we can all aspire to.
Yeah. It was quite a bummer. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's, something, out of my control. And, like I always said, God wants to beat me down before he brings me up, and we're getting close. And boy, I'll tell you what, I might just go on an 8-race heater. I have no idea, but he's beat me down pretty good. So, nothing's going to hold me back from coming back and racing this thing. I waited, 58 years to have my own stuff. And, yeah, I can't wait to get in the car. I wish I could do it in Brainerd, but it's just not going to happen, and not going to happen in the Indy as well. But still shooting for the first countdown race in Reading, and I've been going to rehab now and physical therapy, and I got the biggest guy in the joint, 6'6", bending my fingers all around. So that hasn't been enjoyable so far. So just kind of getting back into things, and I'm off all the narcotics. My brain's kind of getting more clear now. So I feel like I'm on the road pretty good. I bend the fingers pretty good now. So we're getting there.
Wow. Yes, yeah. You are. I love it. You just turned 60 though. So happy birthday, by the way. Yesterday, as I understand it, was your 60th birthday. So what Shawn is telling us is he was 2 years old and he consciously made the decision, I want to own my own Top Fuel operation at some point.
Well,
happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, the big 60 is, I've changed it around. I mean, if you just tweak that 6, it looks like the big go. So you know what? I think we might win one of these. I may not be driving it, but I think we're going to win one of them.
I like that idea. Or you flip it upside down and it becomes 90. You don't want to be doing that. All right. Let's bring on your driver. Bring on your driver. Add him to the stage. This guy, he's a good guy. He's very famous. He's NHRA on Fox. And now you're back in the cockpit of a top field dragster. Jordan, I know this is not how you wanted to get back in the seat, but when the phone rang, I'm sure you were stoked about it. Tell us how you got the call to fill in for Shawn.
Yeah. Obviously, very stoked, very, very happy to be here. I'm here in the shop right now. The guys are getting ready to start loading up. But obviously not the way I wanted to get back into the seat, and I'm happy Shawn is okay. But Shawn had always told me that if anything ever happened to him, that I would be the guy, maybe, possibly. And unfortunately, something happened to Shawn. So we had a conversation early, and I know he was weighing his options and things like that. But then he called me and he said, "Jordan, I got some bad news." And I said, "Oh, well, Shawn, you know what? It's okay." And then he goes, "I got bad news. You're driving in Brainerd." So from that point forward, I was very excited, very stoked. And it's such a Shawn move to do that to me too. So, but we're here now. I've been up in Indy since Sunday. So we're getting everything ready for this weekend.
Shawn, why is Jordan the guy? There's other guys out there. Everybody likes Jordan. First of all, he's a nice kid. Jordan's a nice kid. But driving, all right, I think we all feel like both of you were going real well, and then things stopped, and then we had a pandemic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Does this go back to the connection at Bob Vandergriff Racing?
Yeah, I think it does. Me and Jordan were teammates, and we hung around each other for a couple years, and I grew to really like him. He's kind of like my kid almost. He's just he's good behind the wheel, and I think he's only got maybe 10 or 11 or 12 races underneath of him, but he's got the drive, he's got the passion. He drives the car straight. He doesn't hit walls, doesn't cross center lines. He knows when to lift. Knows also pretty much if you lift, you lose. So, but you know what, lift for another day. So, I think he's going to do great behind the wheel. He's got the passion. He wants to do good. And, it's too bad that Austin moved on to funny car because they had a little thing going back and forth. But you know what, there's plenty of other people out here, men and women, that he can, get in these little grudge matches with starting line, reaction time stuff. So, the car's going to do what it's going to do. And the car's fast, just as fast, if not a little faster than the car he drove, 5 years ago. So, I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy for the opportunity for him. And, I think it's going to be great, man. I think he's going to do great.
Jordan, expand on that. The fact that you get this opportunity, we've been leaning on you on the NHRA.com team, the NHRA.TV team. We spent a lot of time in the booth together this year, leaning on your expertise and talking a little bit about just moments you had in the driver's seat. Those were a couple of years ago, and now you're back, baby. Like, that's got to be so exciting. You got to be so fired up to be able to jump back in one of these cars after being like on the precipice, so close and yet so far away.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Are you sitting in my seat in my trailer, Jordan Vandergriff?
Yeah, Shawn, yes. I'm sitting in your seat. I'm in your lounge. I'm with your guys.
Nice.
I'm just making myself a home. It feels like home.
Have you changed the name to JVR yet? I mean, come on.
No, but my name's on the car, though. My name is on the car now. So,
Right on.
Andrea.
But super fired up for this opportunity. I know Joe and Shawn, like how much I want to do this, and I've been waiting for quite a while. I've been close a few times with some other situations, and they just haven't worked out. But I ran 11 races a few years ago, and I felt like I did pretty good, and I was just chasing that feeling. And I feel like I have a lot to prove. I think I'm pretty talented behind the seat. I know I can drive it straight. I know I'm a little quick on the reaction time. So for me, this opportunity is huge, just to prove it to myself again that I can be one of the top drivers out here in the sport, and that's my goal. My goal for the future is running full time, competing for a championship, and I think I can be able to do that given the right opportunity. But it starts here. Shawn was gracious enough to give me this opportunity, and now it's my job to go out and prove that I belong in this class.
People are out there, Cliff, saying congratulations. Good to see Shawn. People are just happy to see you guys. Feel better. You rock. You earned, Shawn, like, how do I say this? Every driver wants to break out with the fans somehow, some way. And honestly, one of the ways that John Force did it is by going through horrific incidents and walking away and keeping a positive mental attitude about it. And that's what you did. What was your response from the fans, from the people? I know everybody within the sport were just, thrilled that you were able to walk away with a great attitude. But what about with the fans? Because it is my observation that you've made a lot of fans. There are people talking to me about Shawn Reed now that before you were one of the guys, and now they're like, man, that guy, he's tough. He's got grit. I can't believe it. What has it been, your experience?
Well, I cry off camera a lot, I promise you. But, it's been pretty crazy to have the fan support and that has happened since the accident. And, it's just, it's not me acting tough. I don't really consider myself tough. It's the first accident I've ever really been in. So it was more of a shock thing. And from the first instant that my brain came back to me, I was like, man, just get the other car out. That's why I built two of them. Let's go. So, it's not a tough thing for me. It's just, I waited, 58, 59 years to drive a dragster, man, on my own. And you know what, I'm not looking to John Force this thing up and drive till I'm 70 something, but I got a few good years left in me, and hopefully I can win a Wally or two and compete for a championship in the next couple of years, and and then maybe I can just be an owner, step aside, and let the young kids like like Jordan and stuff, hopefully we can get some of the guys that really should be in the sport back in the sport, and if I'm here and able, then that's what I want to do.
Wow. No, I agree. I think it's tremendous. Jordan, as a young, talented driver, right? An athlete, a former baseball player, someone who's got this intense burn to compete. You did make a final round in your short stint in Top Fuel. And just as things were like buzzing, like, man, this kid could break through. It fell apart. That's drag racing, though. It happened to Leah several times. Like, Leah's got a great story. Matt and Angie Smith have got a great story where they got a sponsor and lost a sponsor, and got a sponsor and lost a sponsor before they got hooked up with Denso. You got two races, and one of them is the U.S. Nationals, man. That's wild.
Well, we don't know quite yet about that. You got to talk to Shawn. You got to talk to Shawn up there. But for now, it's just Brainerd. I'm going to try to make my case.
All right. All right.
Make my case that he should keep me in for both. But no, it's just a great opportunity for me. It's been a while, and this car is really good. I'm up here with the Shawn Reed Racing team, and these guys, let me tell you, I've been blown away with how good they are. They've taken really good care of me so far, and they're professionals. Rob Wendland, Ryan Elliott, and these guys, they've taken me in and they've done everything so far that we need to do. It got me a little comfortable. Minor changes here and there, stuff Shawn likes, stuff that I like. Had to make a few changes, but man, I'll tell you what, going into Brainerd, we're gonna have a really good shot. I see the odds came out, and I'm a little down there on the list, but if I were you, I'd take the long shot. I'd take me in the long shot, and we'll see what happens.
Who's going to do all your work, like the odds videos? You can't do that. You're now a competitor. You and Courtney. What happens to your NHRA on Fox, NHRA social media workload? Does Shawn get to do that stuff? How does it work?
Hey, well, Shawn, I don't know. Hey, I can make a phone call, see if Shawn wants to do it. But that's one thing that did cross my mind when Shawn called and everything. So I made a few calls and made sure everybody was okay with it. And everybody on the Fox NHRA team and the .TV team, they're super, super excited for me. So I appreciate the support. Yeah, they're gonna be down one reporter on the Fox show, but I called Bruno. I said, hey, Bruno, I have to work alone this weekend. I've got some other responsibilities. So it's been good, but Courtney can do those videos. I just look forward to being out there. I want to be the one being interviewed. I enjoy my job at Fox NHRA and with .TV, but you know what? I want to be the one being interviewed for driving the race car. So this weekend's the first one in a long time, and I know how to do an interview now. So I think I'll be pretty good.
Right. Your interviews better be good. Like, oh my gosh, if you leave us with nothing, if you walk away with 2 words, if you're like not interesting or compelling, what
No,
was
I
this
know.
6 weeks
Jordan-
been about? You better be good at this.
What do you mean?
Jordan-
It would not interesting or not compelling. It'd be just like the Bachelorette. I mean, come on, The Bachelor.
Burn. No, Jordan Van texted me. Some people texted me. They said, "Hey, these interviews better be good." I said, "You know what? They're gonna be the best interviews you ever get." So I'm really looking forward to it. Just happy to be back in the seat. I feel like it's just a different. Being at the racetrack, working with the TV crew, but driving is just a different feel. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So Shawn, since you brought it up, I would never have brought up the Bachelorette. Jordan knows this. I never bring it up, right? Right, Jordan? I never bring it up.
You don't. Yeah, that's true.
But since Shawn, did you watch that, Shawn? Were you part of the Bachelorette experience with Jordan? Did you ride with him a little bit?
I watched a clip, and then I went in my bedroom and put my covers over my head, and I said, "No, Jordan. I can't watch that stuff. That's like the worst show in history."
Oh, come on, man! Come on, you can't say that I was on it, man. You can't.
No, Jordan, I love you, man, but I'm just like I could not. Dude, come on, man. Whoever goes on the show, they meet, they have a cocktail, and they all fall in love, and they all fight each other for the one person. Come on.
It sounds a lot like when we met, Shawn. We had a cocktail, we fell in love.
That's you know what? You got me there, JV. You got me there.
That's what I'm saying.
Got me there.
Look, whatever it is to capture the eyeballs of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of new fans. I was on the Power Loon rock radio station here this morning, and a couple of guys, and when I rattled off this story, they, and these are middle-aged dudes, right? But they know their wives or girlfriends or someone's watching The Bachelorette. They know Jordan. They know he was zero gravity. They know the whole deal. And so you bring that with you, Jordan, whether you like it or not, whether we're, having fun with it 10 years from now, as you are a regular time top fuel driver, this is part of your story now.
Yeah. It'll always be part of my story. And, I'm not ashamed of that. I mean, I think I take every opportunity that comes my way and I go for it. So that was an opportunity for me, and I did it. And I think the coolest part about that whole experience was, having a top fuel car on the show. If you go back and watch that first episode, I had a top fuel car on the show, and I got to set it up and show the Bachelorette, what it was like, what the controls were like inside the car. And so it was really cool to get, drag racing to one of the mainstream television shows, over the last 20 years in this country.
That's why you hired him, Shawn, right there. He goes back to the promoting of drag racing and what a big moment that was. And he's right, by the way. He is right. That was a huge awareness moment for the sport of NHRA drag racing. All right, some people out here, talking about the zoo. Can't wait for Brainerd and the zoo. Brian Zenzen, who is a stock racer out there. I see a zoo Bachelorette coming. What is he allowed to go in the zoo, Shawn? Like, what's the policy for your team and your drivers?
You know what? I'm going to keep him. I'm going to keep him hidden, and I might sell him. Okay, because we are looking for money, so I may sell him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, is that legal here in Minnesota? I was unaware, but you never know.
Well, I may be in jail. He may be doing it. I may be in jail. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever you do, it's karma.
No zoo for me.
Wait a minute. I saw him and Bruno in the zoo last year. Yeah. I don't think we can let them two in the zoo.
Yeah, no. Last year was my first time ever in Brainerd. I went to the zoo with Bruno, and no zoo for me this year until Sunday night. Sunday night, we're gonna go to the zoo. Me and Shawn are going to the zoo, hopefully with some hardware. Yeah, and we'll go to the zoo then and have a good time. But
remember that, Shawn? You remember that deal when him and Bruno, like, they were like, we're thinking that you guys could maybe take your shirt, and they pulled their shirts off immediately in 1 second. It was like there was no excuse, no trepidation, just like
No, it was.
Is there a dress code or what's going on over here on this team?
Well, this
Sunday
guy
night,
says
there'll be no dress code. You get me some hardware, we'll be rolling in there in the birthday suits, bro. I could care less.
All right.
Don't threaten me like that. Jordan says that his back still hurts. Roscoe says his back still hurts since you jumped on him last year. This is the guy who is the Yeti, Jordan. Yeah. This is the guy the Yeti watches WFO.
You know what? Sorry, not sorry. You know what? I was in the zoo. I was just doing whatever felt right, and for some reason, jumping on your back felt right. So I'm sorry you're still hurting, but get better soon. Okay.
I That's good. You handle that very, very well. All right. We're having a good time here, but Jordan, like driving a nitro car. So did you, I don't know if you said, maybe you didn't say a test, any kind of test, or is Q1 like the first time back in the seat in a little while?
I mean, I've had some testing over the last few years. I've tested a few different cars, but for the most part, just Q1 going out there and giving it all I got. So, the nerves are there for sure, but I think the nerves are necessary for focus. I think, if you're not nervous, then you're not caring enough. So I'm going to have nerves for sure. But I know that it's going to be able to help me focus. And then once you're back in these cars, I mean, once the engine starts up, everything comes back. It's like it floods, all the adrenaline flushes through you and you're ready to go. And I think once I'm in the lanes, once I'm on the starting line, I'll be ready to go. And you don't forget those feelings. You don't forget the feelings of it launching. You don't forget the feelings at half track. You don't forget the 8th mile. You don't forget the parachutes. There's such, intense experiences that it's almost impossible to forget what they feel like. So when I tested over the last few years and made some full runs in some other cars, I kind of hopped back in and went straight down the track. And I was like, okay, you know what? I don't forget how this feels. And I know that if I don't forget how it feels now, then anytime I get a shot back in competition, I'll be ready for it.
That is awesome. Shawn, is there anything you want to ask Jordan, like here in front of the world while we got him on the spot for fun or for kicks? And I'm excited for you too, to get to just taste this ownership role a little bit. You've done so much for your team. You've done it in a first-class way. You've taken the plunge. You've invested your own money. I think about when Don Schumacher had one team and he was able to put his spin on it and blossom it. I'm not saying you want to become the next Don Schumacher with 8 teams out there, but you can enjoy drag racing, watching a race team be successful. Maybe not as much as driving it, but I love to hear that you've considered the ownership role like that.
Yeah, it's completely different. I didn't buy this stuff to have anybody else drive it like right now, so it is different feeling, but, everybody's been kind of teasing me. They're like, oh man, what are you going to do if he goes out and wins a race? What's people going to think of you? And I'm like, well, I don't really care. It's like, I'm sure there'd be lots of write-ups about it. Like, if something like that happened, but I'd be just tickled pink. It'd be a win for Jordan Vandergriff. It'd be, even more importantly than that, it'd be a win for Shawn Reed Racing. And my guys deserve it. The car's been running good. We get a little bad luck on Sunday, but it'd be a big win for everybody. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I think the team, I think the car, I think Jordan can get it done. I mean, we'll go up there and compete. We just gotta calm her down a little bit on Sunday morning, and we'll be doing just fine.
Yeah, let me give Shawn some credit real quick. Joe, you talked about him, jumping all in and investing in this team. Let me tell you, this team is A1. This team, everything is nice. The parts, the equipment, the team, they work well together. I've been here, and they are. When I tell you they're top notch, they're top notch. This car is very, very good. The equipment's good. The car feels nice. It's really, really a great operation. So props to Shawn for that.
Yeah, and rumor has it that I got a couple more trailers ordered, and I wouldn't mind maybe, you're right. I don't want to be a Don Schumacher, but funny car, dragster. I'd like to be maybe a Tony Stewart, a funny car, dragster, type of thing. So you never know. We're the right partners, and of course, we're always looking for partners and looking for the right ones, the long-term ones, and something that we can come in and learn and build on and represent. And I'd like to have a funny car and a dragster, and of course I'd have to drive the funny car for a year or two before I let that one go. But so that's kind of down the road. It's kind of what we're thinking, and hopefully we can get there.
I love that attitude. A very drag racer thing that someone says to you that, oh, what if Jordan wins when you're not, like, very drag racing thing to do to somebody. You've built a team. You've taken a risk as if you would be unhappy. Get out of here with that, people. Come on. Such a negative spin. This guy will be over the moon to see his cargo win. He put it together. He hired the people. He paid for the parts. If on the one race he's not in the cockpit, the car goes on and wins the race. That's just a statistical weird anomaly, and it will be a great experience. But I totally get that, Shawn, that's something you might have to confront. Don't worry about it at all. All right. Friday night, the battle for the Rebel Axe. Are you guys aware of this? Another Friday night Q2 bonus session where there's $4,000 on the line, but a chance to sit on the American Rebel Throne of the North. The Rebel Axe is a guitar that it looks like a 12-pack of American Rebel light beer. These guys at American Rebel are doing a great job. There are commercials on CNBC promoting their stock ticker on the NASDAQ. Like, they're really all in, and Friday night's going to be special. Feel like it could be pretty quick, a little sporty out there. What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be great. I mean, I know Q1, we're gonna set them up to, just get down the track, whatever. But Q2, I'm sure we're gonna let the old dog eat. So we've qualified in that number 2, number 3, number 4 spot quite a bit in the last couple of years. So there's no reason why we can't do the same thing and get up there and maybe get him on that hot seat for a little while until maybe the Britneys and the Kalittas come up. But you know what? You just never know. I mean, they might just try a little too hard. So we might be able to stick them on there.
Yeah, my career best is a 369. I did that in my very first race ever in Phoenix, and I fully intend to reset my career best this weekend with the Shawn Reed Racing team. Like I said, this car's really nice. This car's really quick. And, with me in the seat, we're a little lighter, Shawn. So we might go a little quicker.
You might be right. Hey, I like it. What is that? 69 with a what, Jordan? 69 with a what?
7. I think it was 69.7. So there's room. Okay. There's definitely room for improvement. I know this car has gone quicker than that. So, really looking forward to. Yeah, I want to reset my career best. That would be a goal of mine as well this weekend. Is just go quicker and faster than I've ever been, and maybe some win lights.
Vandergriff, get to work.
Oh, there you go. Look at
Sean Wendland, everybody. Guest appearance.
Hey, it's not Vandergriff. It's Hollywood.
Hey, Hollywood. Wait, did you really make that? Oh, all right.
Hollywood Vandergriff. There it is. To go with this guy's nickname for Shawn, Superman Shawn. Go ahead, Shawn.
I just hope they let me back in my own crap.
Hey.
I mean, seems to be having a good old time over there.
We're having a great time. We're having a great time up there. I'll be honest. We're having a great time. Mm-hmm.
You want my wife's phone number 2?
No. That's all you, Shawn. That's all you. I love her as well.
But just not too much, Jordan. You stay out of there, all right? Yeah. Stay away.
Of course not.
Stay away. The entire female gender loves you already. Like, come on. All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Shawn, like what you've done, people out there are just so excited. The way you've handled this, you lost a digit, man, but you're still number 1 in my heart.
High 4s all around, baby. No more high 5s in my pit.
That's it. That's
high
the team.
4s.
High 4s.
There you go. Wait, how do you want us to do it, Shawn? You want us to do it like this? Or you want us to do it like this? Which way do you want us to do it?
No, you got to move the same. Yeah,
there
you go. High 4s.
Like that.
All right,
there you
guys.
go, baby.
There it is. High 4s all around. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you. Safe travels to Brainerd. Thank you very much. Jordan, super excited for you. Shawn, excited for you as well. Thank you for, your grit and determinations, bud. Like that's what drag racing's all about.
All right, man. We'll see you up there Thursday. I'll be up there Thursday afternoon, man.
All right. Very good. Jordan, thank you so much. There he goes. Jordan Vandergriff and Shawn Reed. Thank you, Shawn. Amazing job. How about that? How exciting is that? I really appreciate him. Jordan, who has done such a great job as a reporter for NHRA on Fox, now gets to go back in the seat. And high 4s, I think it's going to stick. I know I'm going to do my job to make it stick. Everybody out there, you need somebody with a big foam finger, the one that they bring to the sports games, the number 1. Can somebody make one of those real quick? The 4, can you do it? Someone make it happen. All right. Mac Savage going to be joining us. Team Kalitta, Mac, who is kind of he's been a part of the 3 quickest runs in drag racing history. Mac has. And so I'm excited to talk to him about the most recent win out there in Sonoma. But first, I want to tell you about HusseyPerformance.net, not just copper head gaskets anymore. Hussey Performance, David Allen and the team located in Pennsylvania, Beaver Falls, all the, everything is sourced in the United States of America, and it's made in the United States of America. And that's all you could ask. So go to the website, husseyperformance.net. They can turn around gaskets really quickly. They've got contingency programs. Check them out, husseyperformance.net. I want to remind you about Foggit. That's right. Gary Stinnett, Steve Williams, they built this spray. They engineered a very high-end fogging oil for class cars and sportsman cars and watercraft and anything that must face corrosion on the inside of the cylinder. The cylinder surface is so important, and Foggit protects it. After you're done racing, don't forget to fog it down. We got more to come. We're going to have Max Savage. We are also going to take, a couple of mini tours of BIR, just mini tours, and show you guys a couple of the cool places here at Brainerd International Raceway. Also going to give you results from the double divisional and regional event here at the BIR. It was massive. There were 480 cars on the property. I will also give you our drag race bracket bonanza group league code. People have been asking, they've been clamoring, Joe, you never give the league. Can we get in on the league? I will give you the information on the league momentarily right after this.
For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod Driveline Components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com.
I'm Steve Torrence, four-time NHRA Top Fuel World Champion. And when me and these Capco boys win races, we go straight WFO.
How about that, Steve Torrence? Billy Torrence on the entry list. That's kind of interesting. I'm excited to find out about that. And these guys are way up in the points. And we'll see. This is it. The penultimate race. The last race where people aren't so intense that it is almost uncomfortable. The Cornwell Tools U.S. Nationals and the NHRA Countdown. The last race was the Denso Sonoma Nationals presented by Power Edge. A very fun and exciting race. You're in wine country. It's beautiful. The weather is great. Doug Kalitta got the win. And here to talk about it is Mr. Mac Savage. What's up, Mac? Welcome to WFO Radio for the first time.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
I am great. I'm here at BIR already. Been up here since last Wednesday. We did some divisional action, and now I'm ready. Guys are stacking. Just saw your rig go by, get stacked, and ready for the event. We're getting to crunch time now.
Yeah, for sure. Headed to Brainerd, and we're excited. We look forward to coming to that track every year. We're coming off a couple of weeks of hitting our marks with the race car. Seattle, we're actually pretty disappointed with Seattle. That was an event that we should have won. The car was doing exactly what it was told, basically the entire weekend, and got to the semifinals. Just one of those things. Had a cylinder drop, and that was it. So we just put our heads down, went to Sonoma, and did our very best. And I'm excited with the result that we had.
Alan was super excited. Maybe Alan Johnson, he's won everything, right? It's got to get old for this guy. At some point, this guy's winning everything. And that's not the case. He was fired up to be going to a final round. He goes, this is the first since Arizona, man. Like, we've been not happy with the performance. And even though the car's been fast and you got Doug, and I think everybody feels like at any moment you guys could turn it on, and like last year, end of the year, You had a tough time at Indy in the countdown. You stormed up through the field and finished second. But what is it for a team like this to perform well when you're already a high confidence team already? It's still great to go rounds and win.
You said it right there, and then with Alan and his passion and the excitement that he gets when the car performs well and when we win, you would think with the resume and the countless wins that he's had that it would kind of be old hat, but it is not for him. And his excitement just progresses through the rest of the team, and we thrive off it. So with our win in Sonoma, same thing. The car's been doing what it's told for a good part of the year, most of the summer. Qualifying, we're hitting our marks, and for just countless list of reasons, when we get to Sunday, we are just falling short, pretty much race after race. And we're starting with the team. We're doing everything we think that we need to be doing to perform. But I think with the way the car's been running, our confidence is just getting better and better. And I think a lot of the little gremlins that's been popping up on Sundays for a good part of the year, we're hoping are behind us after our win in Sonoma, and I think we're turning the corner at a good time of the year.
All right, I want to ask you a little bit about Sonoma and some of the round by round. I want to ask you about Seattle. But most importantly, I want to ask you a little bit about you. Alan is one of the faces of the sport from the crew chiefing side of the world, as is David Grubnick. Luke Fath came up to me in Sonoma, and Luke, who is a behind-the-scenes guy at Kalitta, does a lot of work, is a great person. Everybody loves Luke. He goes, Joe. I was like, what's that, Luke? He goes, there's one person that has been a part of the 3 quickest runs in NHRA history, and that is Max Savage. You were with Grubby with Clay, you're with Grubby with Brittany, and now you're with Alan on Doug, that run in Seattle, which really put it all together. Low ET and top speed. Sometimes you get low ET and you don't get top speed. Sometimes you get top speed and you don't get low ET. That was a great all-around run. Jason Galvin said it might have been the greatest single pass performance-wise ever. And you are a part of these teams, but you're always kind of under the radar. So people need to know about you. Let's talk about how you see. You don't even want it, right? But you got to do it. How did you get here? The short version.
Getting into drag racing, it's a spectator and a fan. My dad, he was a part of a dragster back in the 70s, early 70s, and I grew up around it, going to the drag races and watching it on TV every weekend at my house. NHRA Drag Racing, it was a priority to watch, and I've always had an interest in it. I didn't think I would end up on a race team. I had the desire, but kind of always thought that it wasn't something I could do. And just by chance, I was a spectator in Topeka, I believe 2001, and Chris Karamessinas. I got a chance to meet him and talk with him, and he had a kind of a small crew and independent team, and I asked if I could just stand aside and observe, and I think with this matter of minutes, he was assigning me to do this or clean this or wipe this down, and that was in Topeka, and I went to the next event with him in Chicago, and it just steamrolled into part-time on weekends to a full-time position with Cruise Petragon, and then early 2000s with Kalitta Motorsports. And yeah, I spent 13 years at Kalitta's. Started with Scott Kalitta on his dragster when he made his return in 2003, and progressed through the cars, worked with Grubnick and Hillary Will and Doug Kalitta for quite a few years. And then, I took a year off in 2016, I believe, and Grubnick was on his own. He was working on a car, asked if I could come to the Indy just to help out for the weekend, and I did, just thinking it was going to be just a 1 week appearance, and that turned into, I think, 6-7 years with the Parts Plus car, and then fortunate to move on with John Force and Brittany Force, and I was there for 5 years. And, 2023, I got to do one year on a funny car with John Force, which was an incredible experience. Working with Danny Hood, Tim Fabrizi, and spent a lot of time with Jimmy Prock in 2023. Jimmy and Thomas, and just learned a tremendous amount. But I spent a good part of 20 years on a dragster, and then transitioning to a funny car. For me, it was a massive learning curve. I kind of felt I was gonna have to take some steps back to learn, and a lot of the things that I learned throughout the previous years just do not apply to a funny car. And just being selfish, I wanted to keep progressing. An opportunity back with Kalitta Motorsports, where I had a lot of roots, 13 previous years there, and working with Doug and Connie Kalitta. And on a side note, when I left Kalitta Motorsports in 2016, just for some family obligations, I told anybody that would listen, if I ever worked anywhere for a team owner or a driver that treated me as well as Connie or Doug Kalitta, I'd be lucky. And I'm just happy to be back with them, and then the opportunity to work with Alan Johnson. Somebody, when I gave my notice at Forces that I'd be moving on to something different, and somebody told me, one of the guys, like, what could you possibly learn going to work with Alan Johnson? And
right.
Every day is I just try to put my head down, keep my mouth shut, and learn everything I can from him, because there's no one that's had the success that he has.
That is amazing. No, thank you for doing that. I know there are a lot of people that talking about themselves, their accomplishment, that's not their number one priority, but it's important for people to know, Mac. And also, I feel like you have paid your dues. You're an up and coming. You have the knowledge. The knowledge is rare. Not everyone can tune one of these cars. You've been there with Grubby. You've been there with Alan. You've been there with John Force. And so what's in your brain at some point will be applied. I would hope that at some point in your career, if you want it, you'll tune one of these cars on your own. But that's only if you want it. Do you want it?
For sure. I want it. I've invested 20 plus years, slowly progressing, trying to work towards that. But, as you know, and most of the people watching, these machines, the top fuel dragster, funny car, they are incredibly difficult machines to control. The machine that makes 12,000 plus horsepower. When you put it in simple terms, we're taking 2,500 pounds of weight, roughly, a little more for a funny car, from a standing stop, and we're accelerating at 1,000 feet in 4 seconds or less. With the aerodynamics that's involved in that, the physics sometimes seem like it's not possible, but we do it, and it's incredibly difficult to do, and that's why you see the guys that have success, they put in many years learning the craft. So
that's it.
Working towards.
Right. It's one of those things that you just can't fake your way through. It's not that kind of thing. All right. Final round against Antron, but I want to kick it back to Seattle. I rarely go into the lounge to talk to Alan out of respect for his time, but there's one that I had to know, for my understanding of what's going on. Hey, that run in Seattle, out of 100, 1 to 100, is that 100 or is that like a 98? We always talk about the perfect run. Is it out there? And he surprised me by saying that there was more. That was, I don't think he eventually put a number on it, but like a 9 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, that there was more on that run. That kind of connects to the conversation you just started about how challenging it is when you got back and looked at that run and thought about that run, the 341 on a Byron first round in Seattle. It's one of the best runs in history, but apparently
there is more. But back to that run. When you look at it's ET 362, it went 300 to the eighth, plus 340 miles an hour to the 1,000 feet in a package. That is, it's an incredible run. Going to be a challenge to duplicate, but there's still more. When we break down a run, we'll break it down into all the increments. What's it going to run in the first 1 second of the run, the first 60 feet? What's the split from 60 feet to 330 feet? What's the back half from 660 to 1,000 feet? And when you overlay that run to previous runs that that we made with Doug Castello or Shawn Langdon or other cars out there, when you look at those increments, cars have run better when you put it all in a package. And these cars to have that performance, it's done with engine power, right? And it's not some fancy clutch disc that did it, or fancy design of the supercharger. It's these cars. They burn nitromethane, and they get their performance from nitromethane, and it's your air fuel management that gives you that performance. And we still have more to work on. It's not perfected by any means. And on that run specifically, we knew first round, doing the forecast for the day, what the track condition was going to be, and that's very, very important. What do we have? What are we going to have for grip? And that pretty much starts everything. And then we can build on the performance of the car from that. And we discussed it. Start in the morning. We knew we had a buy run. We knew the track was going to be good. We knew the air was going to be good, which in turn we're going to be able to make horsepower. And how hard do we want to run, or do we need to run? And we could look at it like, well, we could just duplicate a run that we may need for second round with our next competitor, based on what the track temperature is going to be, the forecast. So we could just make a run, get comfortable with it, and try to duplicate it for the second round of eliminations. Or knowing all the conditions that we were looking forward to having, that we could push the boundaries a bit and use it as an opportunity to learn, because we don't always get those opportunities. When we're testing, sometimes the track isn't exactly what we see during competition on Sundays. So when we laid it all out there, when we left the pit area, we didn't. The car was tuned up to run good. I don't think Alan had it tuned up to that extent at that point. But we get out, we look at the track, we look at what some of the other cars are running, and at the last minute, Alan's like, we're gonna pull the trigger, and we're gonna push, and we're gonna see what this thing's gonna do, and he did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So one of the things, I think, we just had Jordan Vandergriff, NHRA on Fox, and Shawn Reed on the show, and we were kicking it a little bit, got talking about the TV. One of the things I think that should be happening is there got to be a crew chief ISO on everybody. Like when Prock wins, he's like, yeah. And when Alan wins, he's got his, everyone's got their thing, man. And after that run, I looked right now and I was locked on him, and the feeling of accomplishment, you could see it, like it did what we wanted it to do. There it is. It was infectious. It was an energy. It was positive, kind of like Brittany with the 343. There was like this glow on her for the rest of the night. Just amazing stuff when the cars run well in NHRA drag racing. All right, let's kick it back to Sonoma. Take us to race day, but ultimately with the final round against Antron and breaking through, setting you guys up for this most critical time of the season. You're going to get it. You'd have to do a lot. And the points leader is your teammate, Shawn Reed, with Brian at the helm. I don't know that you want to see them flounder to the point where you could get it, but still trying to win the next two races. So kind of walk us through that experience as we lead into Brainerd.
Well, we look at it two ways. We're selfish with Doug's car, and that's our, Alan, myself, the team, that's our priority. We want to win every round, every race. We want to be low qualifier. That is our goal. But also kind of unique to the sport with a two-car team that there's been multiple car teams for decades. But the way we currently operate at Kalitta Motorsports with the two dragsters, they are as identical as any two cars I've seen. And with the chassis, the way we set up our tires, our clutch disc program, our clutch program overall is as close as we can possibly get it. And we do that intentionally just to maximize the data that we can apply to both cars. And so as much as we want to win with Doug, we also, for our whole team, we have a big investment on what, the performance of the expectations that Lincoln's car and what Brian Hughes and his team does. So we work real hard to make sure they succeed as much as we do. But that regular season championship, that is very important to us, and we're working as hard as we can to achieve that. If not for Doug, everything we can do to make sure Brian and Shawn get that win.
$150,000 is nothing to sneeze at, no matter who you are. Even if you're Connie Kalitta, it's still $150,000. These cars are so expensive. All right, tell me about the final against Antron. They're kind of emerging. He's the current champion. We saw what they did last year. A big competitor. I haven't figured out how to run 340 just yet. They've been fast. You guys had to beat him in Sonoma, otherwise he would have gone back to back, and you were able.
Well, yeah, on that it's you get arguably just two of the best drivers in the final round, which is exciting right there. Antron Brown, his results speak for themselves, and Doug Kalitta. Man, if you were going to start a race team and you had your choice of picking a driver, I can't imagine picking somebody other than Doug Kalitta. So just having those two drivers alone in the final brings a level of excitement. The car, it's been doing what it's told for a good part of the summer. Our crew has been phenomenal. We got an excellent group of young guys that just give everything they have to make sure the car is as close to perfect as it can be. And Alan, his focus is it's intense, and so our whole entire goal was to win that event. But as I mentioned earlier, we've just had little things that bite us on Sunday, especially late in the day on Sunday in the semifinals. It's like a hurdle we haven't been able to jump over for the last couple of months. So we didn't want to. We knew the performance of the car was there, the track was there, but also we didn't want to be our own worst enemy and beat ourselves. So we did. We were slightly conservative just to guarantee the car went down the track, and but also you cannot take Brian Karate, his group, and Antron lightly. So we had to push the level. We were actually hoping we were expecting the car to run a little bit quicker than it did. I think it went 375 in the final. We were hoping low 370, but it was good enough to win, and it gave us some good data to build on going forward for Brainerd, Indianapolis, and the next few races to come.
75 with a 2, you nailed it. Coming up this Friday, BIR, the Lucas Oil Nationals. Of course, the last race before it gets really serious. Yep. Not that this isn't serious, but there is something to it. And we're going to have a little fun on Friday night. The Battle for the Rebel Axe, brought to you by American Rebel Light Beer. It's one of those qualifying bonus rounds where whoever is slow with the session gets a couple of $1,000 extra, but it's rich, and hopefully the fans. I know you're watching the weather. What do you think is possible out there this weekend?
So it's we're going to see some good runs, and I'll just jump back on something, touch on something you didn't bring up here, but let's go to Seattle. And it was a unique event where we just had one qualifier on Sunday. I'm sorry, on Friday. One qualifier on Friday
with the bonus.
It was late in the day. Yes, late in the day, and it's unique to us because the traction compound that was on it had plenty of spray, plenty of glue. The temperature was low, actually lower than what we normally see in those conditions. But one thing it was lacking, it didn't have any runs from high-powered cars previous in the day to leave a good base of rubber. And these cars, the Top Fuel funny cars, we have to have a base of rubber to maximize performance. So that's why you saw a lot of cars struggled, and that was we were nervous just for ourselves within Kalitta Motorsports. I know other teams were as well, because the grip machines and the tools that we use say the traction is excellent and the temperature is what we need to get good runs, but the track was still green. So it wasn't that we couldn't run on it. You absolutely could, and there were several good runs, but it was a unique set of challenges. So now we're going to fast forward to It's Brainerd. We're going to get 2 qualifiers on Friday. We'll have one before the late run that should be optimum conditions for us. So Brainerd can yield some excellent ETs, but it's also a tricky racetrack where if the sun is on a direct sunlight and the temperatures get elevated, it could change in a hurry. Where from good grip to challenging conditions for us. So, as you mentioned, we're looking at the forecast. We're hoping for some cloud cover the first run, just to keep the temperature in check, track temperature in check, and allow us to make some good runs. Q1, which will just lead to some quality runs for the second session. So we're excited.
I'm excited as well, Mac. All right, before we let you go, Blake's got a question. He wants to know your title. Like, what is your title for the team? Are you assistant? Are you co? Like, what does it matter? I don't like titles.
I'm the assistant crew chief, and I kind of manage the day-to-day operations of the team, making sure the guys have everything they need, all the resources, parts, pieces to accomplish their job, and I assist Alan with the racetrack with the performance of the car.
And you do the interviews when you win if Doug can't do it.
I hope not to, but I will.
So you have been, it's very funny. It's a funny thing. First of all, thank you. Grubnick, not really the guy that wants to talk all the time. He'll talk to us, but not every run, right? So when you guys were with Clay, he was like, go talk to Mac. Go talk to Mac. Mac's the guy. Go talk to Mac. And it's like, Mac, you're the guy. He says you're the guy. And you did it every time. I appreciate it. And now sometimes you're the guy over there too. And now you're the guy now. We, the media, we like it. We appreciate the fact that you take a little time. Those guys, I understand, they're debriefing in their heads. They're going back, thinking about what they just saw. Someone's got to talk to us. And I appreciate you being the guy so many times.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't say I enjoy doing it, but I as a spectator, I'm the same. I like listening to interviews and trying to get some informed information. So I try to contribute, but I'm not.
No, you're good. You're good. You do a great job. Don't worry about it at all. We appreciate it. Mac, thank you very much for coming on WFO Radio. I think this is a great interview from race fan at the ropes to wiping parts for the Greek to assistant crew chief for some of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. That shows perseverance desire, and also drag racing. Like, what story is more NHRA drag racing than yours?
I don't. It is somewhat of a grassroots sport, and there's the majority of the guys that have worked their way up to my position have done the same thing. Started at an entry level position and just perseverance, paying attention, trying to contribute where you can, and just doing your very best.
And you have the same name as the sponsor, so that's good, right? Mac Savage, Mac Tools. They've been with you for a million years, supporting the team. It all works out. Mac, look forward to seeing you this weekend. Thank you for making the time for us today.
All right, we'll see you on Friday. Thanks a lot.
All right, bud. Thank you so much. Mac Savage, Kalitta Motorsports, with us here on WFO Radio. Guys, how great is that? That's why I love this sport. That's why I started this show back on XM Satellite Radio originally, started talking NHRA Drag Racing nationwide, then started WFO Radio, the podcast, and the live stream, because there are so many great personalities and great stories in this sport of drag racing that we all love. Information is out there, ready to be shared. He's working with Alan. He's working with Brian. He worked with Force. He was on a funny car. He's on a dragster. Just amazing stuff. Max Savage. And I whenever he decides that the time is right to try to chase that dream of being a crew chief himself, I fully support it, and I'm very excited for it. And that's exactly what we need. Henry G says, hit that like button, people. Hit the like button. You know, the like button does matter for the algorithms and such. And also dropping a comment on our YouTube video after the fact. Drop a comment. What did you think? Will we see 340 miles per hour in Brainerd? Call your shot. What will be the top speed of the event be? Call it in the YouTube comments, not the live comments, but the YouTube comments after the fact. All right, guys, your thoughts on the weekend. Drop a comment in the comment section. When we come back, I'm going to take you on a mini tour, just a tiny little mini tour of Brainerd International Raceway. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the cool things that are going on here at BIR this weekend. It is going to be a whole lot of fun. Before we do that, though, I want to tell you about the folks at Bernie's Speed Shop. Bernie's, BURNYZZ.com. Josh Hart is already booked on the Power Loom. That's what I did this morning. As if I didn't get enough free t-shirts when I worked in AM radio. Look at me. I finally worked another free t-shirt. I did the morning show with these guys, and they're asking me about drivers and talking about stuff, and Josh Hart is going to be in there later this week. Bernie's Speed Shop. Josh has got some amazing machines that are for sale at Bernie's. Bernies.com. Go to the website and just have a look. But what I think the WFO audience would be benefit from, is their ability to sell cars of consequence, like the ones that they've got up for sale right now. So if you've got something that's important to you, a barn find for the future that you don't want to just let it rot, you want to let people who are really good at it sell it for what it's worth, reach out to the folks at Bernie's. Follow them on social and let them know what you got. And we'll see. I think they can be helpful to you. BerniesSpeedShop.com, Bernies.com. Follow their social media. And if you talk to them, tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. We really appreciate those guys. Also, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. You can drive a dragster. I am seeing that Frank Hawley's has got some seats available the weekend of Vegas 2. How is that possible? That's SEMA week. So give them a call. Go to frankhawley.com. Call them up. Tell them you want in on those seats, because the spots are going fast. frankhawley.com. Also, big shout out to Marvin Rodak. Rodak'sCoffeeandGrills.com. The hot sauces and spice rubs and coffee. If you love coffee, you don't get it at the grocery store, guys. You don't. It's been vacuum packed for weeks and weeks in those bags. You call Marvin. He grabs some beans. He roasts them fresh per your order, and they're in your hands right afterwards. It's the best in the business. 817-924-6821. Call Marvin. Tell him you heard about it on WFO Radio. Marvin Rodak has been with us for a long time. Shout out to the folks at CWT Industries, Balance Machines, Firm Machine Shops. Of course, our friends at Redline Synthetic Oil and FTI, Total Seal Piston Rings. We have got a couple of really great interviews dropping. One is out already. David Ward from HPL on board talking about some of the cool chemical concoctions that are going in these race cars. Of course, Hartford, number 3 in points, but Total Seal piston rings. We got one, the Volkswagen buggies that run at the Baja 1000. Jorge Jimenez, George Jimenez, Jimenez Racing Engines. What about those guys? How do you take a 100-year-old design and double the horsepower? Total Seal is a part of it. So if you're building an engine, go to totalseal.com. Shout out to our friends at Jesse Converters as well, the DPF X-Fit brand, Eric and Matt Latino. Matt having a great year. Over-the-road replacements. That's the DPF X-Fit. If you got a big truck, you need a particulate filter, OE replacement, everything exactly in the same spot as it was on the factory one. Factory one off, aftermarket on. That's what Jesse does. Check him out. Jesse Converters, DPF X-Fit. Before we take our quick break, also want to mention our Patreons. Patreon.com/WFO Radio. We got new Patreons coming on all the time, and we really appreciate these guys. They're learning about Project Pontiac. They're hearing it from Michael Heiner. All kinds of interesting stuff. Yeah, this weekend, there's some cool stories in Pro Stock as well. We will get to those after this.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
What's up, everybody? Today we are in Emporia, Kansas at Stinnett Racing. We're going to dyno Project Pontiac. Yes! That's how it's supposed to happen.
We talked about this project 2 years ago at the PRI show.
Now, this thing started off like we dynoed the old engine, and that was going to be like just a refresh. Gary's not just an engine guy, he's got a lot of cool cars. Of course, his Supercom Drag dragster. He won final stalker. But back here is where he keeps everything. This dynoing my Project Pontiac.
It's Antron Brown, driver of the Macro Tools Top Fuel Dragster, and yes, I'm a 3-time world champ. But you know what? When I win, I go straight to WFO Radio, baby. I want to see you listening.
4-time. He's a 4-time champ. Sorry, Antron. We're going to have to 4-time. I've been out here since last week. Let's get some results in, and then I'll take you on a tour. Put your comments in the comment section, guys. I'm here in the tower. Look at this. This is beautiful. Look at that. You can see out there. This is where it's all going down. It's all happening. All right, in the regional race, it was Joey Severance over Kirk Wolf, Dean Dubbin's machine, but Joey Severance got the win. I asked him, Joe, let's do an interview. He's like, he ran away. It's okay. Christine Foster got the win over Bob McCosh. Christine Foster took out Jim Whiteley in the first round and went on to win the race. We almost had a Foster versus Foster final round. Really cool. I'm going to give you the full results. When you bring me into an event, your results get read on WFO Radio. Is that an added value? Is it a negative? You decide. Race 1, Comp Eliminator, Doug Engels got the win. Super Stock, it was Brett Spear. Stock Eliminator, it was Tracy Fairchild in this beautiful AMX. It's blue. Tracy works here on a weekly basis as the tech guy, and he's got a crazy nice stalker. Just awesome. Corbin Kairola in Super Comp got the job done. Corbin, Tom Carlson in Super Gas. Emily Novak, we did an interview with Emily on our WFO Radio Instagram page. And it went like gangbusters, like the thousands and thousands of views, the most watched Super Street winner interview in history. So says I, you'll have to show me another one with more. But Emily, great job. She's a professor at a university, and she got the job done in her 155 mile per hour Camaro. Top sportsman is Michael Chitty. Jessica Eastburn got the job done at Top Dragster. She's looking really good for the national points, but nobody's talking about national points just yet. And Kyle Lundberg wins in Sportsman Motorcycle. In race 2, it was Pat Nahan in Comp Eliminator. In the Aragona's old equipment, Frank Aragona, may he rest in peace, Frankie. That equipment is still out there winning races over Brian Stufflebeam. Joe Santangelo running so good here at the start of the season. Beats Scott Dugdale in Super Stock. Dan Zrust, who lives in Maple Grove, runs a stadium for school. Wins in Stock Eliminator over Larry DeForest. Super Comp was Brandon Clewine. Got the job done over Jason Kenny. Went deep in the rounds both days. Super Gas was Trevor Larson over Kevin Dick. Terry Robinson, that's Kendra's dad, former champ in the division a couple times, won Super Street in the second race. Dr. Michael Freischel, the dentist, loves doo-wop, this guy, in Top Sportsman. And Jim Prevost in Top Dragster. Craig Fansteel wins in Sportsman Motorcycle, Summit Sportsman Motorcycle. Just a couple of notes. Steve Yeager had an incident, destroyed a race car, but he was out and okay. Justin Dorfler, fellow announcer, helped out along with Gabe Killian. Did a great job. Appreciate those guys. And Matt Stutzman, Armless Matt. It's in our WFO radio feed. Please go check it out. It's gone around the world and back 50 times. Armless Matt. That's what he calls himself. He's an archer. He's armless. And he drives, and he set the milestone for fastest Paralympian armless person, however you want to say it, in the world, certainly in a quarter mile, 214.69 miles per hour. Matt Stutzman, I think he actually improved it later on in the weekend. He drives with his feet. And so I ran down there. It's like, Matt, and we hung out. He was great. He's energetic. He wants to run Top Fuel. He wants to feel what 300 miles per hour is like. This guy is the type of person. Randy Meyer came over to me, guys, and he's like, and some people can't figure it out. Able-bodied, I don't even know how to say it. This guy is driving a Top Sportsman car with no arms, all never quit about it. And there are some people, they can't get out of bed. I think that's what Randy said. Some people can't get out of bed. And it was so true. It was amazing. So go check that out on our Instagram page. Again, thanks to the guys at Power Loon. If you're coming to town, lock your FM dial to 107.5. It's all classic rock. They're going to have Greg Anderson on. I told them to play Hell's Bells. They're good stuff. But let's take a tour, a little quickie tour. Well, you guys put your comments in the comment section. Final things for me to talk about or read about as we get on out of here. Matt Hagan has re-signed. More time with Tony Stewart. There's news. You can go to NHRA.com. Thanks to NHRA.com for posting our Tony Schumacher interview. But how about this? Let's go check out something cool here at BIR. Check this. Everyone sees the tower. You know the tower, right? What about the view from the top of the tower? All right, guys, you're getting the BIR experience. This is what happens when I'm on location. Check out the lakes out there. All of our sportsman racers, a whole bunch of them. The Alki pits. This is what I think is cool. I love tracks that have this. You know, for the VIPs and whatnot. There it is, turn 10. The final corner. Or is it 11? One or the other. And here we are. The BIR rooftop. Track coming together. No tree out there just yet. The winner circle right below us. That's a ways down there. Oh, just kidding. What a jerk. You see stacking happening with our fuel teams down there. Condos over there. And check out this cool viewing area. Little rooftop bleachers action. Will we see a 340? I think we will. I think we will. I think we're going to see a 340. No promises, though. I'm not promising anything. All right, one more thing. Get your comments in the comments section, guys. If you were out here for the divisional, what did you think? Are you coming to the race, the zoo? We ask you to share the show. Share the show, guys. That's really the difference. We've had a good couple of weeks on WFO, and been educating people all the time about the show, picking them up literally one listener at a time. Some folks on the Power Loon, right? Like Power Loon, maybe I got my t-shirt, man. That's really all I wanted to go in was to get myself a free t-shirt. That's it. And you know what's cool? So like radio, they got it sponsored. How about Shannon's Auto Body? Scan this. This is, okay, ready? You get ready for something I think that is very cool. BIR. Very unique to this track. It's maybe scary. You decide. So many cool things here at Brainerd, a track that I absolutely love. But to me, one of the coolest things, I like it at least, the tunnel. The tunnel. Look how far we're going. We're going way under there. Way under. What's in here? Oh my gosh. Hello, WFO. It's like you're down in a World War II bunker. And I would say we are probably under the starting line right now. They probably don't want to indicate that. Because people would hang out down here. There's a cool breeze coming all the way through. And that is the Brainerd International Raceway Tunnel. And there you have it, the tunnel. And Mac 1320 is like, Joe, what's your favorite part of the track? I've never been to BIR. I don't know, man, the tunnel. It's down there. It's concrete. It's crazy. I like it. All right, awesome show as usual. Let's see. I would imagine IHRA is looking at West Palm Beach. I don't know why you would imagine that. All right, so that did get sort of floated. And here's where I come from. Better not be some sort of weird PR tease to the South Florida community. That would not be a respectful thing to do. You know, Palm Beach International Raceway right now, formerly Marusa Motorsports Park, only exists now and is not a distribution hub because of the actions of a very small but devoted group of local racers. You can go back in the WFO Radio archive and find when we were doing that. And I was animated. This is pandemic time. I was very animated because many of our local racers were like, it doesn't matter, and you can't fight City Hall, and don't bother, and it's gone. And they were defeatist, and they were giving up before it got started. But a group of racers, and there was a bunch of people involved, including the National Hot Rod Association, was very involved, writing letters. I'm going up there reading letters from the president of the NHRA. People were involved, Rob and Ned, and people were heavily involved in convincing local government in that area to not approve a zoning change. That's what saved it. And so there was going to be a zoning change. If they made the zoning change, like, yeah, bunk, the track is gone. It's a distribution hub for big box stores. Could it be Walmart? Could it be BJ's? Could it be Costco? We don't know. Ooh, could it be Amazon? We don't know. But if they approve the zoning change, then it's gone. But through the actions of a very devoted group of local racers, they did not approve the zoning change. Now, did they immediately return it to a racetrack? Did they immediately, no. And then there was talk about another parcel of land and all of that stuff, but the track remains. And so that track is available to anybody who wants to buy it and save it for a community. The other day, there was a little float about Palm Beach, and that's like tugging on the heartstrings of people. So the way I look at it, as someone who lives in South Florida, and my first drag racing experiences in South Florida, who won track championships at that track, who worked at that track, who got discovered for this job at that track by Bob Fry at the Pro Winter Warm-Up, my heart is fluttering a little bit. Could we somehow save a quarter-mile facility close to 4 million people in Miami, Florida? It's an hour and 40 minutes from Miami. It's an hour and 10 minutes from me. So it better not be BS. That's all I'm saying. That would be really a cruel and horrible thing to do to a community of millions of drag racing fans. It would be a cruel thing. And that's where I'll leave it. But if it were to return under whomever, I think that would be a really positive thing for the entire sport of drag racing, for drag racing in general, for motorsports fans, for car club fans in South Florida, certainly. So we'll see. We'll see what it all turns out to be. All right. Let's see. Yeah, and I didn't even see this one. That's my thoughts. Don't tease people with something if it's not true. I was there when they broke 300 mile per hour. Me too. I was there. Where are we sitting? And looking forward to seeing 350 broken. Who's going to be the one who does it? Henry. Get out of here. Garlitz told me that. He goes, Joe, the second they break 340, there's going to be somebody talking about 350, right? Immediately. No. Just live in the moment. Be happy. I think we could see 344 if the conditions were right. I could say you just don't know. Like Michael Kay used to say about Derek Jeter, where fantasy becomes reality. Except it applies to David Grubnick and Brittany Force as we speak. Where fantasy becomes reality. Is she going to rip, or she could rip a wormhole into another dimension and just disappear? That's on my mind too. Could that happen? Like, there's Brittany. Oh, she's gone. Where'd she go? Michael J. Fox style, into another time and space. A million years ago, this Top Fuel dragster comes ripping out of a wormhole from another dimension into hopefully a very flat prairie. Nose for Nitro says, have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Let's see. Thank you, WFO, Jordan and Mac, for a great show. Not Shawn Reed, apparently. No, I'm kidding. Shawn. Gosh, what a great guy. And I'm excited for Jordan. I'm excited for this guy. Jordan has been a pleasure to be around. This guy, get negative. Why are the entry numbers for Indy so low? Don't worry, Chris. Don't worry. People will enter Indy. Although, automatic horsepower factoring system Who would have thunk that would be a reason why some stock, super stock racers might not go to Indy? But I think in the end, look, every race is about who's there, not who's not there. You don't want to go, that's your business. And if you care so much about the racers who aren't there, then that's fine too. Go to their social media and watch them on their off weekend. But I proved to myself with Seattle and Sonoma that the highest level of competition, you don't need 16 cars to achieve it. You don't. Indy will have over 800 competitors, guaranteed. It will be great. So, it is what it is. I'm not concerned about it. Drag racing ebbs and flows, and the economy is tough for a lot of people. So we'll just see. WFO was repped at the National BMX race this past weekend. Love this show. Thank you, Ant Dog. Mark Banks Experience. He's got a show. Have I ever been on his show? Never. Just kidding, Mark. Let's see. People commenting on a comment I already made. Great show, says AJ. He's doing great. And our Drag Race Bracket Bonanza League. All right, so people have been asking about Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, the WFO League. Guys, if you've never played Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, it's cool. It's fun. You pick your ladders. We've got our own league on there. And so I'm inviting you to join the league right now. I'm inviting you to join the league. So what I'm going to do is drop into the chat the promo code, the invite code is in the chat. But I know some of you are watching and you can't access the chat right now. And you're thinking to me like, oh man, that's no good for me. It's okay. We've got you guys covered. This is the invite code. I would like to grow our Drag Race Bracket Bonanza League. Here's the deal. You may join. I would encourage you to invite your friends, your family, whoever you think would be interested in this. You join the league, and then you don't have to fill out a second bracket. You can just copy it. Copy the bracket. Or you could make totally different picks. But Drag Race Bracket Bonanza is a big deal. More and more people it's starting to get what I would call escape velocity. So many people have started to play it. They realize it's fun. It's a very challenging, an expert, supposed expert like me. It's very hard. It's very hard. So join our league. Come up with a fun and funny team name that represents you, and maybe you'll get read on the air. We'll talk about it, and it's going to be great. Maybe we'll come up with some tremendous prize at the end of it. But the invite code is on the screen, and the people on the screen were mad. They were like, how come you put it in the chat, Joe? We couldn't see the chat. Put it on the screen. And now the people who are audio only are getting mad because they can't see the screen. So I'll give it to those people as well. Number 4, capital B, number 5, lowercase c, lowercase o, capital J, D, W, all capital, J, D, W. 4, capital B, number 5, C-O, lowercase, J-D-W, capital. And there it is. And now it's in the chat, and it's on the screen, and it's in your ear. And that's all I can do. That's all I can do as we get ready to get on out of here. I'm up here in Brainerd since last Wednesday, guys. I'm in Brainerd. This guy says the economy is hurting. I don't know. Listen, people come up with amazing reasons to do or to not do. Ben Blomberg, he's going to do. Always great listening to the show. Thank you very much. Memphis Lonnie, great show as always. All right, everybody we had such a great time out here last week, guys. I appreciate all of you, and I really appreciate the guys on the Power Loom for inviting me to connect with my radio roots, going into a radio station, watching Barry, who's been working for 40 years at the station, smoke a cigarette out on the side of the pig. Like I'm hanging out with a guy, an old rock and roll guy, he's smoking. That is what radio is about. And I'm talking to him, and we're talking about different stuff and Zeppelin, and it was just a great time. And Mac and Zach, Mac is in his 60s, Zach was 30, and they're coming out on Sunday or this weekend, and they are the Power Loom, rock radio, DJs, local radio, where like the local station, that's what it's a passion for me, just as much as drag racing and personal broadcasting. Some of my best experiences have been in local radio stations in Miami, talk radio, working with Hall of Famer Neil. And that industry in many ways has, I don't want to say died, but it's changed in such a way that it is a negative. It's a shell of itself. And so to be able to go and experience radio at a radio cluster, a group of stations that everybody's local, everybody's talking about the race. They're all thinking about what's going on with the race. They're all promoting the race. Everybody in the local community 60 miles away is hearing whatever we're talking about. I read weird news this morning. Some guy is trying to set the Guinness Book of World Record for eating beans. Crazy stuff. But it was fun. I had a blast. So they're going to have Greg Anderson on. They're going to have Bobby Bodie on. Bobby has got all local sponsors here this week. It's going to be very fun, and I encourage you, come up, be a part of it. All right, we're out of here. WFO from the tower at BIR. And thanks to everyone, Sarah and Christy, and the zoo is waking up. People are starting to come into the zoo. Very exciting time in the world of NHRA drag racing. Hey, don't forget the guys at Life's a Drag. Live stream podcast, 12 noon Eastern time, 11 Central, because I'm in the Central Zone. 12 noon Eastern time. Elon Werner and Jason Logan. These guys are doing a great job. They're kind of getting in a rhythm. They're learning how to do this show, how to be compelling. It's great talk. If you love John Force stories, you're not going to get better. Elon worked with John for 15 years, just wrangling John, amazing John Force stories every show. What I need them to do is repost the show, guys. Like, they do the show, and then they're just like, yeah, no, man. You got to push the show out there, baby. Yeah, push it out. And the show, too. That'll be happening 12 noon Eastern time, and then everybody is headed to Brainerd. And the car's on track on Thursday. The Lucas Oil Nationals, the penultimate race of the regular season. Austin Prock leading in funny car. Greg in Dallas, basically nose-to-nose in pro stock. Top Fuel wide open. How about Tony Stewart testing a pro stock car? Little old me on my Twitter feed. Hey, drag racing community. Maybe you should check out Bubba the Love Sponge, because Tony Stewart just told the world that he ran a pro stock car. Yeah. It's kind of a big deal. Kinda. I was in the road. I couldn't type up a story. That's not my thing. But big deal. Could we see smoke in a pro stocker next year? And some people would still leave the grandstands. That's just a fact. All right. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget Life's a Drag. WFO. Thanks to Mac. Thanks to Shawn. Thanks to Jordan.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.